Alright. Everything good? People are saying things in chat that have my name in them, so I'm gonna assume that I can be heard.
Yes, you can be heard. Okay, our
Awesome.
host is defanned.
Alright, awesome. Hello. Welcome to Pac-Man World 2. I'm LaurieDBunnyKins. This is a 3D platformer that kicks butt except for when it doesn't. I'm just gonna get started so I can talk about the game in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright. Immediately there are 2 cutscenes here. I never have to watch cutscenes. If anything has dialogue, I can just press start and it gets skipped. I love that. The form of movement here is the rev roll. It's kind of like a spin dash. I charge it up in place for a little bit, and then it releases all at once in a really good burst of speed. It's going to be my main movement for the whole run, because unlike the spin dash, it's a lot more kind of bouncy. Whereas a lot of the times in like Sonic games, when you spin dash, you'll usually like stick with like the wall or whatever like thing you're moving on. The rev roll, when you interact with collision, you kind of like start bouncing all over the place, as I just mentioned. It's pretty bouncy. So, the kind of big thing of movement in this game is going to be using that to your advantage. So like for example here, I don't like being in the water, so I'm going to rev roll onto this rock, and the collision of the rock slopes me a little bit upwards. Just kind of stuff like that all over the run. The next level is a really good component where I get to show off more examples of that, but the bare basics is a pretty simple first level. Not much to it. This game is pretty easy in the beginning, and then really ramps up in difficulty. The 4th world is kind of like a massive difficulty spike, but for the case of the run, the game's kind of always pretty hard. There's nothing too easy to do here. But like, yeah, you saw there, I used the plant to get over that pit with a rev roll, and then I get on that box and rev roll down, and I can like get over these pits in this level. Fun fact, on the Japanese version of this game, all of these pits in this level are just like completely filled in. You cannot fall to your death in the Japanese version. I'm playing on the GameCube 1.1 version, NTSCU. The Japanese version, the general consensus is that the PAL version is just slower. The Japanese version technically would be faster, however, the only console the Japanese version of this game is on is PS. Than Xbox, even though Xbox loads faster than GameCube technically. And then 1.1 is due to like one skip that I'm going to get to later in the run. This is a pretty good like first world though. Pac.Con has a lot of like, it has a platform cycle at the beginning, and then it has waterless, which I pulled off perfectly, which was that skip where I went over the pond in the middle of the level without touching the water at all. Water is slow, I've mentioned that. Coming up is our first boss, Blinky. For some reason in the 6th console generation, Blinky and Clyde swapped colors, so that's why I'm calling the orange ghost Blinky. There's a pretty cool strat I can do here. Hopefully I get it. I'm going to rev roll kind of into him, between him and the wall, and then pause a bunch. And the reason I'm doing that, and it didn't go well, okay, I know, I'm just going to let a 3-cycle happen, is because Blinky, for some reason, when you are... Okay, can I hit this, please? Thank you. When you're paused in this fight... Okay, I am really bad at this fight right now for some reason. When you're paused in this fight, though, what usually happens is, like, for some reason, his invincibility frames will run out, but his timer before whatever cycle you're on is technically over, doesn't run out. So you can double hit him there by pausing. However, at the beginning of the fight, when I was bouncing against the wall, it's possible to just like keep bouncing against him and you get a 1 cycle. So a 4 cycle is very bad. But that's the fight. You know, I didn't die. I almost did, but I didn't. So that's cool. Vetoing Woods, this is the beginning of the Treetops world. Kind of the first notable skip in the game.
All right, apologies about that, everyone. We've just encountered some minor technical difficulties. However, the tech crew is addressing that now, and we should be back underway shortly.
Two, one. Oh wait, nope. Okay, go.
Alright, hi, I'm functioning again. Alright, hi, I'm functioning again. So we're gonna continue the game. 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, I skipped a third of the level. I don't know if that showed on stream. I skipped a third of it. I rev-rolled in one place, and a third of the level got skipped. So that's cool. Now I can finish it. Treewood Forest doesn't have any major skips. I just kind of roll a bunch. It does have a bunch of major cycles, though. This is the first level where, like, okay, well, technically the second, because the first boss happened, I guess. But this is the first level where I should have a risk of dying of health, even if I play good enough, just because, like, the Saw Blade cycles are pretty mean, and just pretty minor movement changes can put you on a much different cycle than you might be used to. And sometimes it's just slower to slow down than it is to take a hit. So, like right there, I didn't want to stop. I got hit by the ghost, that sucks. I made it to this part with like an extra bit of health though, that's pretty good. Usually means I shouldn't run the risk of dying here in this level, but I could still die here in this level. I think at this point I'm basically good. Oh, okay, I'm dead. So that's a neat little thing where Pac-Man had momentum. Don't like that. Usually a lot of these rev rolls, I try and cancel them. Okay, I messed up the strat there because I jumped too high. I got a slope jump, which is like a really funny phenomenon, where when you're rev rolling and you like are on a slope and jump at the right time of the roll, you like get a lot more height. I was going for a strat there called the pacifist strat, where you don't kill that bear, you bump into him from the side instead of butt bouncing to kill him, and it saves time because you don't have to, like, spend your time in midair killing him. But, like, then I got a slope jump, so I had to kill him. You know. Just slowness. Butane Pain has some pretty major stuff. I'll try and point it out as we go along here. Immediately off the bat, I'm grabbing a chrome ball, which is just like a metal ball. It makes me invincible to everything, so that's very good. I'm going to rev roll here. I have to dodge a kill plane that's just kind of in the middle of that rev roll, and I land on that beatoing, which sends me to a bonus area. That's not how you're supposed to get there, but by getting there that way, I can leave the bonus area and get sent way later in the level. Now, still with my chrome ball, I'm going to do a rev roll here, just like that. That was pretty good one. And I'm going to get to this section here with this fire. I don't have a chrome ball anymore, so I have the damage boost of the fire. But Once I get to the top here, I'm just going to jump to the right, and I did not a big skip, but like a pretty notable one. It saves like maybe 20 to 30 seconds. And I didn't grab that checkpoint, so hopefully I don't die, otherwise I will get sent 5 seconds before that checkpoint to a previous checkpoint. I don't know why those two are like so close together, but they just kind of are. Kind of silly. I just have to keep in mind where this last saw blade is, and it just passed me, so there we go. Didn't die. The treetop levels are kind of scary in terms of dying. The boss shouldn't be scary, but it could be. This is Inky. So Inky, I do that. This is why I'm playing on the GameCube version, even though the Xbox version has faster load times, is because on the PS2 and Xbox versions, these bosses have like, they're really bouncy. So usually when you hit them, you'd like get sent right back, and you'd have to set up another rev roll, and setting up that rev roll takes more time, and it lets the boss get further into their attack cycle. And with that boss and the next boss, which is the only two bosses where GameCube saves time, like, if you get too far into the attack cycle, they just become, like, impossible to hit fast, so those bosses become, like, infinitely easier on GameCube version. The 1.1 reason is still, like, a ways away, so don't worry. That's also true of GameCube's PAL version, which is again why I'm specifically running on NTSC-U. Even if I were to have a PAL version of the GameCube 1.1, it would still be slower than NTSC. Ice River Run is pretty annoying because the ice in this game is not nice, which is weird because ice is nice. That's like a law of the world. Basically, the ice. Okay, that enemy is not coming for me. I thought it was. You can't really run on it too well, so if I have to traverse up the ice, I either have to rev roll up it, which you see me doing, but if I don't get a rev roll perfectly, I usually have to jump to keep momentum, and even if that doesn't make it, I have to do a bunch of like kick flips, which are these like really annoying jumps to do repetitively, because doing a kick flip kills your height. So if you want maximum like distance off of your kick flip on the ice, you actually have to time it well. The kick flip is just an attacking move you have, where you press B in midair, and it does flip, but unlike everything else in this game, where there's only one set jump height, kick flipping actually just stops your jump at its current height, even if it's not at the peak yet. So when you're in a place like that, where you're forced to kick flip to maneuver at certain points, it can get really annoying, because you can just kind of be mashing buttons if you're not careful or good at timing. It's usually fine, though. Avalanche Alley is a really big reset point in high-level runs. Just because there's so many parts about this level that are, like, not stable. The first half of it's pretty fine. I don't like some of these parts, but, like, I shouldn't die here, which I keep saying. And, to be fair, there's only, like, one time I said that and died somewhere, so I have a good track record so far. But coming up, we have like a kind of whole different portion of the level. We're almost done getting chased by these snowballs. They don't really pose a threat. We outspeed them with ease. I can go for this. That saves a little bit of time. And then we get to this portion here. So I'm going to once again jump on top of a box and then rev roll off of it. Good thing I grabbed that checkpoint, because I don't like not grabbing that checkpoint. And then butt bounce, which usually when you butt bounce on ice, it like makes you do that slipping animation. But since butt bouncing is the fastest way to fall, when you do it onto a sloped surface, you get like more speed, so it's good. And then I'm gonna do a wind roll here. Those wind blowers are supposed to not let you do what I just did. They're supposed to just like blow you off course, and then you'll die of falling in a pit. However, if you are close enough to the wind blower when you start your rev roll, you'll still be in the phase of your rev roll where you have control of Pac-Man when you get the boost from the wind, so you can use the boost from the wind to your advantage. Just like that. This last cave, I did like a 3-second skip to get in this cave a little bit faster, but it's full of these wind blowers. It has like, I think 5 of them total. And you can do a wind boost off of 4 of them, or a wind roll rather, off of 4 of them. That one that I didn't do a wind roll off of there, you can't do a wind roll off of because it's angled too far into the wall for your roll to actually hit it. But here we go. I'm going to do this one. I'm going to cancel it pretty quickly so that I can do this one. There we go. Kind of hard to set that one up, but it was good. And then this is the risky one because there are a lot of pits in this portion after the wind roll. So I'm going to try and cancel it after that pit on the right, and I'm basically at the end of the level now. I just grabbed this pack dot chain, and the end of the level is right here. That was pretty good. That was a pretty good avalanche alley. We take those. Stay hydrated. Coming up is Blade Mountain. There's a few things to explain in Blade Mountain. Namely, just how the speed works. This is a very different movement system from the rest of the game. I am on ice skates. That's pretty noticeable immediately. So the thing about the ice skates is that I don't want to be turning too much, but this level has a lot of turn. Basically, this animation here that Pac-Man does when I'm moving straight forward and he has his hands like behind his like body is what you want to see, because when you're like slower moving straight forward, he'll like have his like he'll be waving his arms. But that animation right there, where his hands are behind his body, means that you're basically going faster than a lot of other speeds. It's not like exactly you're at top speed already, but like you're going faster than you can go while turning, which means that it's like the optimal speed to be at any given time in the level. The other thing is ramp skips. Some of these ramps that I'm going on, since it's faster to be on the ice moving straight forward in this level, you don't have to jump when you go over the ramp. I'm not very confident in doing them, so like for the most part I just jump and waste like the half second that you usually lose like throughout the whole level from jumping off slopes. Although I do go for this where I skip the ramp entirely, so that's pretty cool. Other than that though, this level's still like a minute or so left to go, and there is not really anything else to talk about, so if there are any donations or announcements, feel free to make them now.
Thank you. We don't have any donations to go through right now, though I will just give a quick reminder as to who we are benefiting in this marathon. So, the Mid-Fall Speedball 2020 benefits the White Bear Area Emergency Food Shelf. They've served as a critical resource for families experiencing food insecurity since 1977, providing food and support to over 1,200 families each month. They work towards eliminating barriers that limit access to healthy food for families living on a low or fixed income. Their vision is to end food insecurity in the White Bear Area, though their programs are open to anybody in need of food, regardless of geographic boundaries. So all donations that come through will directly benefit the White Bear Area Emergency Food Shelf, in addition to bits and subscriptions.
Let's go. Alright, time for Pinky. Pinky ideally will look pretty similar to Inky, however there are a bit of differences. One, she is usually on the diagonals of the platforms here, so when I'm rolling into her, I do have to kind of retreat and then go back. So, like, I got spiked. Pinky is a lot faster in starting her attacks because of that little diagonals thing, so I have to be a lot more careful here, otherwise I'll get spiked by snowballs. It's a pretty hard fight in a run. Like, this boss can actually be pretty annoying. She's never really a run killer because deaths to her aren't... Okay, do that. Deaths to her aren't, like, too bad. Like, you can restart the cycle pretty quickly, but it's just kind of like an annoying couple seconds of time loss that happen in runs sometimes. She's at 1 hit left. Okay, and I'm gonna get comboed. Would you like to get hit? There we go. Also, reading chat, I turned the host up a little bit if that helps next time I need the host for anything. Which I'll need the host for something later in the run. There are some really slow stuff later in the run, but this is not it. As I mentioned at the beginning of the run, this game is kind of known for its volcano levels being a massive difficulty spike. That's not really reflected too much in the run. The boss definitely is. The boss is like the peak of the boss is like the peak of the casual difficulty spike, and it's definitely apparent in the run. The boss of the volcano world is insane. But the levels are fine, mainly just because they're some of my most practiced levels, because they are actually some of the hardest levels in the run. But like the proportion of like how difficult they are to how much I've practiced them, they're like not the worst thing ever. Like they would be casually. Again, a lot of people, I see some in chat, and I used to be like you when I was younger, haven't seen the end of this game, and it's usually because of either the volcano or the first level in World 6. Or the last level in World, or just World 6 in general. World 4 and 6 are pretty hard in this game. But Into the Volcano is actually pretty not that fast. It's pretty chill. There are a few kind of like crazy rolls you go for over lava, like this one, where I'm just like, you kind of have to be a little bit brave in the volcano levels if you want to save as much time as possible. Like this roll definitely doesn't look safe, pretty easy, saved like a few seconds. That's kind of the whole thing here though. I'm nearing the end. I didn't die in this level, which is good, because these platforms at the end of the level are on a cycle based on how you do in the level. And if you die in this last room and respawn at the final checkpoint, the platforms are on like the worst cycle imaginable, so that's not good. That platform is usually not on a good cycle based on the cycle at the beginning of the room, so I'm going to save a little bit of time by going over here. A lot of people casually try and do that rev roll and don't think it's possible. It is. Doing that rev roll is completely possible. You just need less height than you think, so you need to do the rev roll sooner. And we make it to the end of the level. And then we have Volcanic Panic. Volcanic Panic is a pretty big skip. So the gimmick of this level casually is lowering the lava level constantly to get to the bottom of the level, which is where the ending is. I'm going to take this Chrome Ball and try and like speed as fast as I can through this first portion of the level. And then I'm going to get over here. I'm going to butt bounce into the lava, rev roll through it, clip under this wall. I'm now in an out-of-bounds lava plane that exists above a certain part of the level because of the rising lava thing, or the lowering the lava thing. So I'm going to jump across this lava plane and then butt bounce here. And then the goal is right there, so I'm going to have to like inch towards the goal. If I'm moving too fast while I try and go towards the goal, I'll hit like a patch of lava that's like a little bit above and in front of the goal. But if I just like tap the directional button, I'll just make it to the end of the level and not hit that plane of lava. And that skip saved like 3 minutes. So coming up next is Magma Opus. I'm already in here. It's got like a few things going on that I'm going to have to point out. First off is room skip. There's this big room here. It's got a lot of switches in it. So like, you got to hit all of them to leave the room. I'm just going to ledge grab onto that platform and then try and rev roll to the end of the room. I messed it up, and there's an enemy in this room that shoots projectiles at you that's pretty mean, so you don't really get multiple tries at that one. So I tried a backup of room skip and I didn't get it. Which means I get to go for the basic room skip again, though. Or technically, this is the newer one. The backup that I'm talking about is actually the old way we used to do this skip before we found the current method. And the current method is, like, easier to do, but if you don't do it fast enough, the enemy just starts, like, sniping you off the ledge. And now I'm just messing everything up in general. The thing is, all of these platforms in this room have, like, the ledges that we want for, like, the room skip, but, like, that also means that you can use them to, like, you know, get extra speed when you're butt bouncing off of them because they're like slightly slanted and they count as slopes kinda. But that's room skip. That took way too many tries, mainly because I just kind of died like an idiot twice, but whatever. I get across that lava pit doing a slight damage boost, and then I grab another Chrome Ball. With this Chrome Ball, I am once again going to try to speed to a certain part of the level so that I can jump across a giant pit of lava without dying instantly when I touch the lava. Because dying instantly is not good. I've been doing a pretty good job of my movement in this level, so I should be perfectly fine to just get across this whole thing without having to worry about the metal running out on me. Yeah, no, that was really good movement. And then I'll go for the skip once. I have not been getting it in practice, like, at all, so... Yeah, I didn't get it. So that was slide skip. Slide skip is a 2-part skip where there are 4 slides at the end of this level, and you don't really skip all of them at once. You skip the... Okay, I'm dead. Thanks, camera. It's a 2D platformer, the camera's not good. Or it's a 3D platformer, the camera's not good. Games have bad cameras. But, okay, can the camera, like, thank you. So, usually the thing with slide skip is that it's actually a 2-part skip. You skip the first 2 slides, and then you skip the, like, 3rd and 4th once you make it to this platform. But what's cool about that is that, what is going on? Hello? Did I, like, break this level? What you're supposed to do once you're on the 2nd platform is just jump and butt bounce at that pillar, and you'll land at the goal. I don't know how I missed that. It's actually the freest skip in this game. But whatever. This is Clyde. He sucks. He has a metal body, which means that we can't rev roll into him like we did the other bosses, so we just kind of have to sit here for the next 1.5 years. There are 5 cycles to this fight, and... There are 5 phases to this fight, rather, and each one is supposed to take 2 cycles, so he has 10 HP total. Anytime he goes vulnerable for the first time during a phase, it's possible to double hit him, so you don't have to go through all 10 cycles, you can only go through 5. But it's still a very scary fight, so I'm trying to be, like, alive during it. Grabbing as many lives as possible for backups, just in case. There are some things I want to talk about later in the fight, but phases 2 and 3 aren't really different from phase 1, so I just kind of get to chill. I just started phase 3, so probably just going to focus on phase 3 and then talk about phases 4 and 5, because they're very different. So, phase 4 is where the cockpit starts notably getting damaged. For some reason, the Pac-Man World 2 developers have a really stupid idea of what breaking the glass on top of Clyde's machine does. So, in this boss fight, for phases 4 and 5, when the cockpit is more noticeably smashed up, it's gonna have, like, a smaller hitbox. I also was on a platform there because I was trying to get health back, which made me in a different position than I usually am while going for that double hit. So I just kind of tried to get off of that thing before it was too late. And it worked. You know, I didn't die, and that's the important thing in the Clyde fight. But yeah, during phases 4 and 5, the hitbox for where you can actually butt bounce to damage Clyde is a lot smaller, which does not make sense at all in terms of, like, real life how things work. But it makes the fight harder when it's already hard enough for no good reason. So that's cool. During the last phase, he'll always go to the platform that the 1-up is on. So here we go. I just kind of have to ascend to heaven here and hope that one of my butt bounces eventually hits him. And there we go. That was Clyde without dying, I think. Now we have the B button. If there's any button that I've used more on this controller that I've had for 15 years than the A button, it's probably the B button, just because of this level right here. Coming up, we have 2 water levels that are like 3 minutes long, and there's like barely any way to speed them up other than mashing B to do the spin attack. You don't really need to mash it, you can only do the spin attack like once every once every second or so. But like I kind of tap it rhythmically just to kind of like make sure I always initiate the spin as soon as the previous one ends. And then there is a little bit of speed tech I can do in this level. Not at this point, but it's called a mine boost. I could probably try setting one up off of these mines here, but I can't guarantee that it would go well. It did not go very well at all. Yeah, that was really bad. I don't even know what I was trying to do there. But a mine boost is essentially a damage boost trick where the mines in this level, they push you like, outwards. Like, they explode on you. You probably noticed that. I was getting boomed up. But they also just try and push you out of the mine, because the hitbox is, like, a little bit in there. Okay, I don't know what's happening there, but I need health. So what you can do is you can damage boost off of a mine, and then hit another mine while you're... If you hit another mine while you're at invincibility frames, the game kind of has a much more visceral reaction to you hitting a mine, and it will send you, depending on how you hit the mine, very drastically in a certain direction. And depending on what direction it sends you, it can send you very far forward at a very fast speed, and it can be good. For the most part, there's not really consistent setups for any mine boosts, so any mine boost I get is just going to be me, like, trying to hit a thing funny enough that the game decides to give me a burst of speed. I'm also going to just, like, take it slow there because I want 50 pack dots. For every 50 pack dots you get, pack dots don't do anything special. They're literally just, like, a collectible, like all the other fruit in the game. But if you get 50 of them, you heal health wedge. So I did it there just to make sure I wouldn't die. So, like, you kind of saw I got a little bit of extra speed off that one. There is one mine boost in the next level that has, like, a consistent setup that I haven't learned, called Tray Boost, because the person who found it is named Average Trey. You might know him from Sunshine. He also is a very good runner of this game. It has been for a very long time. I'm not really good at that setup, but hopefully I'll get to show off, like, one good mine boost, because I was getting a few of them in practice. But that's Scuba Duba. That was a 3-minute level where I mashed B. Now it's time for Shark Attack, which is like the same thing, except the music is slightly different, and there's more sharks, as the name implies. See, look, a shark. If you like sharks, this is a great level. If you like gameplay, this is a horrible level. To put it simply. So I'm going to keep spinning here. There's a torpedo that goes in that circle of mines, but I want to grab the 1-up. This game is actually very safe with lives in terms of, like, the speed run, as long as you don't die too much. A fun fact that you might not know about this game is that if you finish a level with less than 5 lives left and then load into another level, the game will start you in that level with 5 lives. So as long as you don't die more than 5 times in a single level, it's impossible to game over. Okay, nope, I went for a mine boost there. Didn't really work out well. Alright, this is a good batch of mines, right? Nope. I'm just taking a bunch of damage intentionally now, trying to do a speed strat that I'm probably not gonna get. But it's funny though, right? I'm like, what if I do get it? Won't that be cool? Like, look at this, right? Bam. I knocked myself into the ground. Wasn't that funny and relatable? Okay, see, there's kind of one. You can get, like, a lot better speeds than that, but that was, like, faster than not doing one. So that's cool.
Have we got time for a couple donations, or not right now?
I'll talk real quick and say that coming up, we're getting really close to Tray Boost, which is that one, like, consistent setup mine boost that I don't know how to do. But Tray Boost also means we're coming up very close to the end of the level. And the next level is an 8-minute auto-scroller. I'm not joking. That's real. So I'd like to take a minute after I finish this level to describe, like, what the level's about and, like, some stuff in that level. But, like, once that, like, minute I need to talk about the level is over, we literally have 6 minutes to talk about anything we'd like in the world.
Yeah,
So,
I'll keep that in mind.
All
It's very interesting. So I'll talk then.
Yep. So basically, this level is gonna put me in. It's not a B-masher level. Like, these are technically more on-rails level than actual auto-scrollers. This is an auto-scroller. It's 8 minutes long. This is Yellow Pack Marine. I am in a submarine. I shoot torpedoes with the A button. I can have 6 on screen at a time. Obviously, if a torpedo doesn't hit a target, it's a lot longer. There are 3 kind of sections to this level, being mine sections, enemy sections, and pipe sections, which show up at random. This level is not the same every time you play it. And the mines hone in on you. Like, if I stand still in one spot, this, like, string of mines will all start going towards that spot. So it's not like an auto-scroller like Sky Chase and Sonic Adventure. I kind of have to be active. But yeah, the movement in this level is insanely simple, so we can hand it off to donations, or like if chat has any questions. We can do literally anything in the next like 6 minutes. Once we get near the end of the level, I'll want to talk about the upcoming boss fight, but yeah, no, we have like the next 6 minutes to talk about whatever we want.
Okay, it sounds good. So get comfortable, everyone. Get your popcorn and prepare yourself for the remainder of the auto-scroller. To kick it off, though, I do have a couple of donations to read off. We have a $5 anonymous donation, and they say, "Go Laurie, love heart." And we also have a $10 donation from Sandshark, who says, "Thoroughly enjoying Midfall Speedball so far. It always warms my heart to see people from around the world come together to benefit such a great cause. Good luck to all the runners. Let's keep going fast. P.S. Shout out to the cool person on hosting duties right now, Winky Face." That's flattering. Thank you so much.
That person is cool. I like the person on the hosting duty right now. They're cool.
Oh, thanks. A fun fact, that last person who gave me a shout out, he's actually my twin brother, which is why he gave me a shout out.
Oh, that's cool.
The more you know.
I didn't know that.
You learn something new every day.
You do.
And what I learned today is that it's actually possible to beat this game, because as a kid, I rage quit.
I'm still not convinced it's possible to beat this game. I've beaten it countless times over like the past 6 years I've been running it ish. I'm not convinced it's possible to beat this game.
I have full faith in you today that you'll be able to beat it today.
Thank you. If we have more, you can keep going, or you can make an announcement, or if chat has questions, I can answer it. Whatever's easiest.
Sure thing. While I wait for any chat questions or donations to come in, I'll just make a quick announcement about one of our supporters over the years. So, Midwest Speed Fest would like to send a very special thank you to LPAV for providing PVMs, projectors, and cameras for our marathon since 2017. LPAV is Minnesota's trusted video and audio vendor since 2003. Having worked with companies such as Mountain Dew and Microsoft, you can trust that LPAV will do it right the first time. Please support them by checking out their eBay store, which you can find on our Twitch bio or by typing !LPAV. And we have a message from Peas, who says, "Can't wait to see Haunted Boardwalk TBH. I'm on the same page as you because I've never seen it completely." So.
Haunted Boardwalk is like my favorite level casually, and it's pretty cool in the run. We still got like a little bit to go. I have a live split timer open because there's no way I'm doing an 8-minute auto-scroller without knowing how far I am in it. And there's like, again, because this level doesn't have the same layout every time, there's like not a way to tell how far I am in until like the level suddenly ends. I'm nearing a part of the level where I'm gonna get a pretty unique weapon, actually. You've seen the smart bombs a little bit. I've been carrying them throughout the level when I get them. Here I'm gonna get a gun in like 10 seconds at most. There it is. The gun in this level just kind of makes combat stupid. So now instead of moving around and pressing A when I need to fire a torpedo, I can just hold B. So, yay. That's all I wanted to say. We can do whatever we want for another 2 minutes.
Sure, and are you sure this is a kid-friendly game with guns in it and everything?
I mean, Splatoon.
Okay, fair point.
Just because it's a gun doesn't mean it's, like, firing anything, you know? The enemies are ghosts. They're already dead.
That's a good point. We do have a curious question from Sandchuck in chat, who says, "Who would win them a race? Sonic speed dashing or Pac-Man speed dashing?"
I'd probably give it to Sonic. Like, Pac-Man is, like, fast for his, like, region, like, for the Pac-Land in this game. But, like, I don't think it's anything that Sonic would be able to beat. I will give Pac-Man a point, though, and say that I remember in Smash 4, I don't know if this is true in Smash Ultimate, but Sonic's spin dashes actually get out-priority'd by Pac-Man's side B, which is like the Pack Dot chain move, or the Power Pellet move. So in a battle of strength, Pac-Man is winning, but in speed, I'd still give it to Sonic.
Fair point. I have to give credit to Pac-Man for trying, though.
Yeah, no, definitely a valiant effort. But I just don't think he comes out a winner.
Fair enough. How close are we to the end of the auto-scroller, just out of complete curiosity?
Looking at my live split timer, about 2 minutes. So probably about 1 more minute of just, like, messing around, and then I'm going to talk about the upcoming boss fight, because I'm going to want to be completely silent during that boss fight. Honestly, with just everyone talking, this auto-scroller's flown by.
And it's always good to have something to take your mind off of something which might be the least entertaining part of the run, but...
Yeah.
Oh, well. Like, I personally don't remember it being this long.
I think people don't remember this level being notoriously long, because probably when you're, like, playing this game for the first couple of times, you die a lot so much, like, you die so much in the stages before it, especially because of, like, the difficulty spike that is the volcano world, that this level doesn't even feel much longer than a standard level. Because you might do it with, like, minimal deaths, and it'll be, like, still 10 minutes, like, under 15 minutes. And, like, with the volcano levels casually, you're probably in your first playthrough spending over 10 minutes on that level, like, each volcano level. With that being said, though, I'm going to go talk about the boss fight, because I only have, like, 45 seconds left in the level. So the upcoming boss fight is Mega Whale, and the attack pattern that he employs is he'll send enemies at me, and then he'll reveal his propellers, which are his weak point, and when I hit one of the propellers, he'll flee, and then I have to start over from the enemy cycle. Do that 4 times to win. I'm going to be trying to do a pretty specific setup that, if it works, I will be able to one-cycle him and actually get rid of all 4 propellers in one cycle. Because each propeller takes 9 torpedoes to break. So I'm going to be trying to get 8 hits on each torpedo, and then doing, like, a sweep shot of all 4, and seeing if I can hit all 4. It's very hard to do the one cycle, so, like, I'm probably not going to get it, but here's to hoping. I'm going to want complete silence during this fight. So, skip that cutscene. He's gonna summon 2 sets of 2 enemies, so I get rid of 1, 2. I keep the Smart Bomb on me because he can summon projectiles during the propeller phase, and I'd like to get rid of them when I start my sweep, so I have the Smart Bomb just for that. Okay, so I'm gonna go around here, just shoot a straight shot of 6 and see what I hit. Okay, good. 1, 2. Okay, I messed up. So what happened there was I messed up. I thought I hit the top propeller 1 time. I actually hit it twice. So when I went to go get 7 hits on it, I broke it. Fortunately, I had enough hits on the bottom propeller where I was able to just panic mash A and break it. So I didn't get a 4 cycle. I got what's considered a setup 3 cycle, which is where I kind of speed the first 2 propellers broken in 1 cycle, and then just kind of mash the next 2 propellers down. It's not the slowest fight in the world. Obviously, a 4 cycle is bad, especially if you go for the full 1 cycle setup while going for a 1 cycle and you just don't get it. But this is definitely not going to be the fastest Mega Whale fight there is. I probably lost about like a minute-ish, maybe, tops, to a 1 cycle fight, which, like, I'm fine losing that much time to a 1 cycle fight, because honestly, there was a chance I could have spent the time trying to get the 1 cycle setup and then still have gotten a 3 cycle anyways. After the first phase, like, after you get the first hit on him, it's pretty hard to, like, go for double hits, because every successive hit in the fight, he moves farther and farther away from you. So, like, after the first cycle, it's, like, impossible to do double hits on propellers. Unless you, like, are really good with it. But here we are, at Haunted Boardwalk. I mentioned earlier in the game that kickflips are pretty good for the fact that they are the only way to height control in this game. Your jump is always at the same height unless you do a kickflip, in which case, even if you're not at the peak of the jump, it just cancels your height wherever you are. So you can use that to do not full height jumps, which can be good at certain points. They absolutely carry Haunted Boardwalk, because the thing about Haunted Boardwalk is that, a lot of these jumps are designed to be, like, as far away as possible, so you don't need to do kickflips. This part of the level here, the boardwalk starts crumbling with every, like, tile of boardwalk you step on, and depending on where on the, like, panel of wood you land, the thing actually sinks differently. It doesn't have, like, a set sinking pattern. It's physics-based depending on where you land on the platform. So I'm going to be trying to use, like, kickflips to control my height so that I don't break the boardwalk in ways that slow me down. Because usually if they slope towards you, like hard enough, they'll count as an upward slope, which slows you down because now you're trying to rollerblade upwards. But, like, with downward slopes like that, like, you can get good momentum off of them. So I try and, like, slope the boardwalk, like, downwards in the direction I'm going in most instances. When I'm trying to do platforming, I don't want to do that because obviously the platform will sometimes get too low and then it'll just die. But in sections where the platforms are pretty straight and I don't need to worry about missing jumps due to height, I can just, like, keep landing on the front of the boardwalk and I'll slightly be saving time with, like, every jump that I do. So there's that. It's a pretty long level. The thing I've noticed about this game's design philosophy is that there seem to be less checkpoints in the later levels in the game. Not necessarily because they're meant to be harder, so you have less checkpoints, but notably because a lot of the later levels in the game are more linear. So in the beginning levels of the game, if you're, like, exploring every nook and cranny, the checkpoint spacing seems completely fine. Even though if you just kind of speed through the levels, you'll notice that there's, like, an overabundance of checkpoints in certain levels. Meanwhile, in the later levels, the checkpoint ratio also seems fine, even though when you're speeding through them, you'll notice, like, a longer gap between checkpoints, just kind of because, like, with this level, there's notably, like, no side paths to take. So, like, a casual player will have the same kind of amount of time between checkpoints in earlier and later game levels. Not, like, to the same exact extent. Like, there's still less checkpoints in later levels in the game. But, like, the ratio of checkpoint to level is not, like, ridiculous for a casual player. And then this is Night Crawling. Night Crawling is a pretty unique level because it's the only level that requires me to gain a collectible. Technically, every other level, you can't really do every other level, like, you know, no collectibles at all, but every other level requires that you, like, you know, you don't need any collectibles to actively beat it. This level is different. This game has littered throughout it a bunch of fruits and pack dots, and in basically every level where there's fruits, there's fruit chests. So you need to have at least one of the fruit type in order to open a fruit chest of that type. This is the only level where fruit chests block required passageways to beat the level, so it's the only level where fruit is required to be collected in order to beat it. We need to collect one apple and one cherry, which I've already done both of, and we use both of them twice in the level. This section here, I can hopefully do a neat little thing where I do this. There we go. That was good. Yeah, so there's the second cherry box, and then fortunately it doesn't consume fruit, because you still need to, like, get all the fruit in the level to 100% it, so I don't need to get, like, because I use apple and strawberry chests twice, I don't need to get 2 apples and 2 strawberries, I just need to get the one that I get of each. So, like, there's the other apple chest, I just break it open. This level, though, is very heavy on its cycles of the moving platforms, especially in the latter half. So how I did on the first half will usually determine, like, how good my latter half of the level is speed-wise. I got pretty not good here, as you can see from this platform, me just missing it. I was like just off of, I think, the best cycle I could have gotten. So like it wasn't that bad of a night crawling, but it could have been a lot better. And then there's Ghost Bayou is the last level before the final boss. It's usually like this 10-minute maze. It's very long, very complex. A lot of people get lost here after making it this far. I'm going to do it in about a minute and a half. So this bridge has a bunch of invisible walls all over the place, however, not below the bridge. So I'm going to try and line up a rev roll here and go under the bridge, land on this dirt path. I'm going to rev roll for a little bit to about here, and then move to this dirt path. There we go. Almost died there. There's a skeleton right here. I want to get rid of it because I want to set up a rev roll around here. Land here. Grab that checkpoint, hit that button, and then grab the last pack dot in that pack dot chain. Because I don't need to take the whole chain, but grabbing the last pack dot in that chain is actually what spawns this chain here. And this chain leads to the end of the level. There's one more skip I can do in this level called Weight Skip, where I do an 8-frame jump, and I didn't get it. During that animation, I can't move for like 3 to 5 seconds. If I do the jump well enough, like I move well enough in midair, I can reach the level ending without having to wait out that like 3 to 5 second freeze, and that's Weight Skip. I didn't explain what an 8-frame jump is. It's essentially like a really weird like land-to-air transition that lets me have 8 frames where I can just jump in midair. So this is Spooky. This is the final boss. Phases 1 and 2, I'm going to try and stun lock him the whole time. And then, I'm going to do that. I'm going to intentionally die to reset the position of myself and the boss so that I can set up for the stun lock again. He has 3 phases. Each one takes 4 hits, so 12 hits total on this boss. I'm going to keep going for the stun lock a little bit because it's easy and I have a lot of lives. For the 3rd phase, I can't do the full stun lock. Like, I can only do half of it, and then the next 2 hits, for some reason, on phase 3 specifically, are, like, frame perfect. So I'm only going to go for half a stun lock. But you get to kind of see what I'm going to try and do here on phase 3, where I have to, like, chase him down. Because I got 3 hits of the stun lock, so I just decided I'm not going to go for the stun lock again. I'm just going to go for the 4th. I got a funny glitch there called Cutscene State. It's where I hit him at a time... I hit him at the same frame he starts a movement, and he can keep doing his movements in the cutscene that's usually supposed to play in between phases. I didn't get the stun lock at all there, but like I wasn't really going for much of a stun lock, so I'm just going to try and survive for the 3rd and final phase of the fight. I hit him twice already, so I only need to hit him 2 more times, and time is going to be when I get the last hit. So we're very close to done. And time. Nope, time. Alright. That was a run. I want to look at the timer real quick, because if this is something, I'll be very happy. Okay. So there was that weird pause, because of the stream messing up, but the timer says it's a sub 50 run, so it's sub 50, which I'm really proud of. My PB is 48.25, so I was still like a minute and a half off of PB. But this game can be really scary. Like, a lot of strats can just not work if they don't want to. So getting a sub 50 in a marathon run, for me, I'm really happy with that.
I can corroborate that because the stream timer says you got 49 to 56.
Yeah, I have the stream open. And, like,
okay,
technically there was a minute or 2 where I had to pause because the stream was acting up, but the timer says it, so sub 50. You know?
Oh, well done. That was a very great run.
Yeah, I was really happy with that, especially because I was, like, very, like, not feeling great throughout most of today. I'm happy with how that went. The Pac-Man community is really cool. Big shout-outs to them. That's really all I have to say. Thanks for having me. We had to do a lot of, like, schedule, like, acrobatics to get me, to, like, keep me in the event. And that made me have to stay up until 1 a.m. to do this run. But I'm really happy I was able to do it, especially because a lot of the time in marathons, I'm a very, like, energetic person. I was on Frame Fatales, like, earlier in the day today, and I had to keep up my energy a lot because I was, like, prime time, like, 6 p.m. So I'm happy that I was able to do a run at a time where I got to be more of a chill person, and I hope I did a good job with my commentary, because I did have a lot of fun with it. That's all I have to say about this game. Sorry for putting your marathon even more ahead of schedule, I guess. But yeah, that's about it from me. So thanks for having me. Enjoy the rest of the event.